going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're lifting Ashton's Jeep. I'm gonna go ahead just right off rip. I'm gonna go ahead before I forget and measure this front and back so I got it on record of what we're sitting at. About 34 3/4 on the back. And we've got, a little more tape there. Don't make fun of my little tape either. And up here we've got 34 1/2. There's only about a 1/4 inch difference front to back, and that's not too god awful bad. But we've got 2 1/2 inch lift for this thing today. I'm gonna wait for Ashton to get back, and we'll go through what all comes in the lift. But the first thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna start in the rear. I'm gonna jack it up, get some jack stands underneath the frame, so that whenever I go to loosen everything, I can just lower the rear end, pull them springs out, do everything. And like I say, give me just a second. I think Ashton ran to the restroom real quick. This will be the first video she's in too. But she's gonna help me, and we're gonna go through everything that we got in from our guys at Rough Country. And we're also gonna do an oil change as well. You can see our oil sitting over there. Needs to be done. We already got our cover popped off, don't worry. But I might not film it, but we're gonna change the oil too. But anyway, so let her come right back and we'll get started on this bad boy. So I'm just gonna run through this whole lift kit real quick. The only thing that comes in the package is the 4 shocks. You wanna get up close on those? There's the 4 shocks all the way around and the 4 springs all the way around. Obviously your rears and your fronts. Now the rest of it you have to piece together. Unlike other competitors like ExtremeTerrain.com and FourWheelDrive.com and stuff like that, they come with kits, but you'll spend $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 all day. So what I did is just piece it all together, and I'll show all the part numbers. You guys, I'll leave a link to their website, and you guys can go get it if you plan on doing a lift. And like I say, this is a 2 1/2 inch lift. Anything 2 1/2 and up, that's whenever you get into replacing just a little bit of everything in these Jeeps, because you run into different angles and stuff like that. So first on the list, we got exhaust extensions. And what you need these for is for your front drive shaft. The angle of your drive shaft, you'll get underneath and see is right up against your exhaust from the factory. So you raise it up, you're changing the geometry of your front drive shaft, so it'll start bumping into your exhaust, rub a hole, so on and so forth. You don't want that. There's your part number. And here's what you'll get in the package. Comes with hardware, instructions, little magazine, everything you need. Next up on the list, you will need extended brake lines. 2 1/2 inch lift is not a necessity. Anything over 3 4 inch, I would 100% recommend it. You can get by without on a 2 1/2 inch lift, you'll be fine. Anything over, you'll want extended because there's just that little bit of stress, and you'll see whenever you get underneath, there's just not much play in them brake lines. So there's your part number. And you can get just fronts or just rears or both. I opted and got both. They're steel braided, real nice quality. Next up, we got bump stop extensions for the rear. And like I say, you don't have to. There's your part number. That's not anything that you necessarily have to do. It's just a peace of mind. Unless you plan on going slam dogging off-road and stuff, you don't have to worry about it. But I'm going to just because I wanted to get anything and everything that we needed to show you guys everything you need. So what it's used for, obviously you're raising your Jeep 2 1/2 inches or more. And I think this is good for 3 to 6 inch lift. The bump stop, so whenever you're going off-road, say you hit a rock and it'll send your wheel up into your wheel well, that bump stop will stop it from going up and damaging any components, pinching a brake line, anything like that. Get an extended one and it'll compensate for what you've lifted your Jeep. Next up is our end links, and we got front end rears for our sway bar end links. Went ahead and got both, and that's another thing, on a 2 1/2 inch lift, you don't have to have front end rears. You can get by with just buying extended rears and moving your factory rear sway bar end links to the front, because I'll show you guys, your factory rears are about 1 inch, 1.5 inches longer than your factory fronts. So if you want to cheap out, you're not too worried about quick disconnects or anything like we got, just do that. Swap them around, just buy extended rears, move your rears to the front, and go on. But here's our part number for the rears, and it shows you guys for 2 1/2 inch lift. And and you can tell the difference whenever I get the factory ones off. But they're good quality, real rugged. Fronts, we plan on doing a little bit of off-road and having fun in our Jeep, so we opted for the quick disconnects. Comes with everything you need, and so that's all we got. You can get a little bit more. You can relocate your track bar, your pitman arm, and so on and so forth. But really, you can go on for days and days and days. You can upgrade your control arms. By the book, you need to upgrade your control arms, your springs, your shocks, everything in the front end. You know, you can get down to axles, CV axles even. But that's going to be a wrap, guys. And we're going to get to installing this lift. So we're starting with the rear first. And you see what we got going on. We got the rear axle supported with the jack. We jacked it up, popped our wheels and tires off, and lug nuts are a 19mm. And they're the pain in the ass lug nuts. You guys can see I mangled that bottom one and switched it out for another one. Whenever we get wheels and tires, we'll order new lug nuts. Get rid of those silly bastards. So, support your frame with jack stands whenever you jack it up, so whenever you disconnect everything, your axle will be free. You can lower it down, pull your springs out, and not have to worry about spring compressors or nothing like that killing yourself. So what you're gonna need to do to free up your axle is just disconnect your lower shock. And before you do any of this, you can take your shocks all the way out if you want to, but what you need to do is just disconnect your lower shock mount, pull your shock out of the way, disconnect your upper sway bar mount up here, pull it out of the way, and then your axle will be free. You can lower, you can see the inch or so in between the frame and the jack stand. You'll lower, you'll see the jack stands catch, and then just the axle will come down, and your spring will be free, everything else will be free. You can take your sway bar end length the rest of the way off, and you've got 2 bolts for your upper shock mount, and your shock will come down. Bump stop extensions are gonna mount right here. You got one hole here, you got one hole here, and that block that is set on top, and they sent some hardware, you just bolt it on right here, and that'll compensate for this clearance right here. So there's really not much to it on the rear, but I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. It's been about 20 minutes since our last clip, and we got everything on the back taken apart. This kind of gives you guys an idea of how easy it is to take all this apart whenever you can lower the rear axle. You do have to watch this brake line. I lowered my jack all the way down and this brake line was tight, so I just went ahead and popped off that 10 mil. So it has some wiggle room, and I'll get to these whenever I do the brake lines. So I'll show you guys all the factory parts. They all came apart pretty easy. You can tell they're factory from 2018, but here's our rear spring next to our factory one. You can tell we got one extra core or so that's a good 2 inches, 2.5 inches anyway. And here's all of our new stuff we're going to throw in. Our new rear nitrogen shocks. Now you're using your factory top hat on your rear spring. Set it on there. Got our rear brake lines. We got our new bump stops and our new sway bar end links. So I'm going to start throwing this stuff together and I'll catch you. So I know the front is not going to go this easy, as the rear is going this easy, but we've been watching ourselves and making sure we're not pulling anything off. You do have a vent tube here for your axle. That's gonna pop off, which I didn't disconnect it. It popped off by itself, so don't worry about it. But your parking brake cables, it holds 2 10mm right up in there. I would disconnect them, and then your ABS sensors as well. Right here, I didn't disconnect them, but I clipped these little zip tie points, so it's got plenty of room too. You don't want to disconnect those. But wiring is not fun. But as you can see, we got our rough country springs thrown up in here, retaining our factory shock tower cups up here, or spring cups I should say. Those went in no problem. I had to have Ashton jack up the axle as I got it in the spring just to make sure they sat correctly. I'll show you guys the sway bar end links. I'm gonna do those next. And here's just a representation of the height difference that you'll get out of them. About 2 inches, 2.5 inches anyway. And they do away with this shitty pivot point right here too. Because whenever you go to break this loose or tighten it, you always got to have a wrench back here too, because it's spinning free as you're trying to tighten and loosen this nut, and it's just a pain in the ass. So they did away with it and gave you some nice stainless hardware to replace it with. So we're gonna get these sway bar end links thrown on real fast, and we'll move on to bump stops and brake lines. Everything was lining up. I think it's gonna be easier for me to throw in these bump stop extensions first. Like I was showing you guys, here's the plate, here's the bump stop, here's the extension. It comes with two different ways. For a 2.5 to 4 inch lift, you're gonna wanna lay it on here sideways, and you see those two holes right here. Line up with those. And you're gonna wanna feed your bolt through, and they supply you with lock nuts and some washers and bolts for all the way around. And if you're doing a 4 to 6 inch lift, I think, you turn it up this way and gain about another inch or two out of it. But we're gonna be putting it this way right here. So we're gonna bolt these bad boys up real quick and then move on to these sway bar ends. Okay, so we're at a good point where we've got everything installed loosely. We went ahead and fastened down our bump stop extensions, and you can see it on the other side as well, right there. We got them fastened down good, and that gives you guys an idea of what it's used for. You can get a better angle right here to the bump stop. It just compensated for that extra space so that your axle won't shoot up in here and puncture your brake line or do any goofy shit. We got our top bolt for our new rear sway bar end links loosely fitted. As you can see down here, we still got a couple inches we gotta bring this axle up. But what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna fasten our rear shocks to their top location right here and start to slowly jack up the rear end so that we can get our shocks bolted in here, and then we'll bolt in our sway bar end links, probably do our brake lines so that we're done with the back, and go ahead and move to the front. Okay guys, so for these brake lines, you got 10mm holding on your bracket here, and Rough Country supplies you with a new bracket and a new little hold down clip for your brake hose and everything, and some new copper O-ring washers for your banjo bolt right down here holding on the block to your brake line. Now the bracket, see how it's kind of tight as it is on this hard brake line right here. This one from Rough Country actually sits back a little bit further, so what you guys are going to want to do, if you can't get this little clip out of here, just if you don't have any trim tools, just take your wire cutters here, and you can go behind there, squeeze a little bit, pop that bad boy off. And this hard brake line actually has a whole bunch of play, and you can move this clip back and forth and reutilize that hole. So I'm gonna tighten this back up here so we don't have a bunch of tension on this, so we can break loose our hard brake line here. Get a pan, because you'll lose some brake fluid out of this hose. And then we're gonna loosen up our banjo bolt, take it out, slap our new brake line on, done. So we got the rear all assembled. I'll crawl under here and show you guys real fast. We got the shocks, got the springs, got the bump stops, got the brake lines. Now these brake lines, they're for 4 to 6 inch lift, and we're just 2.5. So there's a little bit extra, and it's running a little close to the tire. I did have it routed on this side of the sway bar, and it was even closer, but I think it's fine. It's a stainless line, so if it starts rubbing, we should catch it before anything serious happens. But you can see we got our extended bump stops bolted down, got our shocks all bolted in here, and up top, springs are looking good. Everything's bolted in. Sway bar end links with new stainless hardware as well. Stainless hardware with the bump stops, but you're gonna reuse your factory hardware on the shocks. It sits quite a bit higher. Ashton's got a picture I'll put up if I can figure it out, but it's sitting like a damn old hot rod. So it's definitely a good 2.5 inch lift. We've already got the front disassembled, and it comes apart just like the rear, almost a little bit easier. Other than the front shocks, this upper shock tower mount here, it's a little hard to get to the nut here, but you can pull it off. Your brake line, you can see your ABS sensor has all these little clips that attach it to the brake line, and then this little bracket here that bolts down here to your shock mount, lower shock mount. And on my new extended brake line, I don't think it has these brackets, so I don't think we'll be utilizing this again, but that's no big deal. We can use some zip ties and be just as good. Now, the sway bar end links. Well, let me just show you guys this. Here is our factory front. here's their factory rear, and that's why they recommend you can just buy extended front, or just buy new extended rears and move your factory rears to the front. Because there's your factory front, factory rear. There's an easy 2-3 inch difference all day, so save yourself 40 to 80 bucks. A simple 40 to 80 bucks. So what I need to do now, I need to assemble my quick disconnect extended front sway bar end links, and then we'll get to throwing this thing back together. So we got the quick disconnect extended sway bar end links for the front installed. They do have some brackets that we can attach up here on the frame for when we swing them out of the way, but it's about 8 o'clock and we're getting tired, so we ain't gonna do that. But we are gonna put the front extended brake lines on like we did on the rear, because that won't take no time. Bleed the brakes and we'll probably call it a night. But these extended quick disconnects are pretty sweet. All you gotta do, go to the back side, pop that bad boy off so it gets a little tight, pull that sumbitch off, slide it out of the way, disconnect it just like that. Slide it back on, see if I can do it, just like that. Slide your pin in and you're done. So I'm gonna throw these brake lines on. It's just like the rear. You just got a banjo bolt right here. You got 10 mil holding on down here and a little bracket with a 10 mil holding it right here. Unscrew here, pull off, put your new one on. And we're not gonna be utilizing this bracket anymore. It'll just be a steel braided line going through here. You have to use some zip ties to clean and hide your ABS sensor wire here. So I'm gonna get these installed, and I'll catch up with you guys here in a second and we'll wrap up this video. Back at the shop, we left about 8 o'clock last night. We drove it around, went to McDonald's and stuff like that, and it rides out very well. I'm not gonna install the quick disconnect frame brackets today. It'll be easy to throw them in and drill the holes and throw the self-tapping screws in there. It won't be no big deal. That's all we got left. Oh yeah, and the exhaust extensions, which again, we're not worried about that. We can throw them in when we need to, or if we plan on going off-roading anytime soon, I'll throw them in before we go. It's no problem. I do have them soaking in PP Blaster, so when it does come time, we'll be good to go. So we're doing a quick bolt check. They recommend about the first 50 miles do a bolt check, but we drove it around probably 10 miles. And I just want to go ahead and go across and make sure nothing's worked loose, especially brake lines and stuff like that. So we're gonna do that, and we're draining oil. It takes 6 quarts of 5W20. You can run 5W30 if you're gonna be doing a lot of off-roading or stuff like that. If you know your engine's gonna be running hot and stuff like that, especially running in low range 4-wheel drive, saying high up at the RPMs. So that's what we're doing. Oh yeah, and I got one more thing. Give me a second, we'll end the video. So we almost forgot the finishing touch. So our Rough Country official, we're gonna throw it underneath the hood here, just to make it official. See if we can get it on here. A little crooked, but that's okay, it's official. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. We'll let you guys know what we think about the lift as time goes on. As you all know, spring settle, shock settle, ride will change and stuff like that. This is just the first of many install videos for this Jeep. It's Ashton's dream build, so whatever she thinks of, we're gonna put on here. Wheels and tires are coming soon, because it does look like it's skip leg day. Give them a look, because I haven't really showed them the Jeep. So like I say, guys, that's, oh yeah, one more thing. Keep it. We had 34 3/4 in the rear from the start. Now we got 37. So what is that? 2 3/4 inches? That's over 2. That's over 2.5 inches. So we're happy with it. 2.5 all day. It's a true 2.5 inch lift. A lot of 2.5 inch lifts, you may get 1.5 inches, 2 inches out of it, and you can run into trouble with that, especially if you're definitely wanting 35s or maybe even 37s. You can squeeze under there with a little bit of trimming or fender deletes and so on and so forth. So guys, that's a wrap. Go check out Instagram, Woodsway_auto. There'll be a whole lot of background stuff. different pictures and stuff like that, a little knickknacks here and there. Maybe go check out Ashton's Instagram.
Ashton, actually.
We'll see you in the next one, guys.